That's right. There's a theory that Simba is being overprotective of Kiara because of Zira. Zira killed Kiara's brother, Kopa. And this resulted in Simba being extremely overprotective of his own daughter. Not only that, let's look back at the interactions between him and Zira. The way that Simba looks at her and talks to her, it is nothing but out of pure anger and hate. Now, you could say that Zira is a royal follower of Scar, but no, that's not the case. Yes, I think Simba was at first willing to give the Outlanders a second chance, to hopefully lead the path that they were following. So why did he flat out banish them to the Outlands? Simple. It is because of Zira. Zira is to blame. Because she attacked and killed Simba's son, Kopa. But now you could say that she could have killed Simba's mother, because she didn't appear at all in The Lion King 2, let alone she was mentioned. She wasn't even mentioned. Now this was due to Disney paying respects to her voice actor, who passed away before The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, was even made. There's also that theory. That could be a possible theory on why Simba is acting like that. But I don't think that. I think most likely it's a bit of both. Maybe Zira killed both Kopa and Sarabi. And that resulted in Simba being extremely angry and basically giving up on the Outlanders and just kicking all of them out. Which it is an actual very interesting idea to talk about. Because if Zira is truly responsible for the death of both Simba's son and his mother, then that could explain why Simba is acting so different. Because if we compare his behavior in The Lion King, and when we see him as a full-grown adult, he acts extremely different. He is still suffering under the guilt of possibly killing his father, and reuniting with Nala, and falling in love with her, and having an argument with her. He acts so differently in that movie. Even when he confronts Scar, he acts differently. And even when he finds... This only ends when he learns the truth about what Scar really did. But still, this behavior that we are witnessing from Simba is extremely different from the behavior that we saw from The Lion King. Simba is not only acting overprotective of Kiara, he hates the Outlanders, even hating Kovu. Even when Kovu saves Kiara's life, Simba is shown no trust. He is shown not to trust Kovu. Just every time we see Simba and Kovu interacting, it is just out of pure hate and anger coming out of Simba. Now, you guys could just say that it's just Simba showing no trust in Kovu. But I think it's just purely out of Simba's rage and his anger towards the Outlanders is what is making him act like this. Just, let's go to the ambush scene. when Zira says the line, "Well done, Kovu, just as we always planned." And Simba, without no hesitation, turns his head and just says, "You." And he's just glaring at Kovu, instead of flat out asking, "Is this true?" So he just flat out glares at Kovu and starts growling and says, "You," instead of asking if it's true or not. Kovu even says it himself, "No, I have nothing to do with this." Even when Kovu returns to the Pride Lands, he tries to convince Simba that he has nothing to do with this, or do the ambush, and Simba doesn't listen. Instead of asking Kovu if it was true that he had nothing to do with the ambush, he just flat out banishes Kovu, and when Kiara intervenes, Simba flat out tells his daughter to shut the hell up. Basically. Because Simba did not hesitate. He flat out told his daughter to shut the hell up. Now you could just say that this is Simba overreacting. But again, I don't see that. I think it's just his hate, his anger, and the guilt of not saving his mother and his son, Kopa, is what is driving Simba to act like this. Because we gotta think, revenge, or anger and hate, drives people to do a lot of crazy things. Things that sometimes they're not proud of. And this is what could be happening for our boy Simba. Because in the Lion Guard, Simba never once acted like this. He never once acted like this. He always acted confident, and he always allowed his kids to go out and play alone. Now you could just say this was because his son Kion was the leader of the Lion Guard, so there was no reason for him to act like that. Well, we gotta think, Lion Guard was originally not a thing in the Lion King universe. There was no mentioning of the Lion Guard. Kion was not mentioned whatsoever. Now, you guys can still argue that the fact that Kopa does not exist, well, there's still the evidence that possibly supports Kopa existing, because, well, let's go back to the scene where Simba confronts Kovu. And this was something that I did not expect. Because Kovu says the line, "Judge me now for who I am, or am I to be blamed for a crime that I didn't commit?" That's right, a crime that he didn't commit. That foreshadows something. And you want to know what I think that foreshadows? The death of Kopa and Sarabi. There's no doubt about it. Something happened before the events of Lion King 2 Simba's Pride even began. Something happened that drove Simba to act like this. It wasn't until during the end of the movie of The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride did Simba finally stop acting like that. Only then and truly then did he stop acting like that. But through the entirety of The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride movie, he just flat out act like that. Which to me was strange. It was strange. And that's why I think that something happened between the events of, well, after The Lion King and before the events of Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Because we also gotta look at one thing. We don't know how much time passed after the final battle in The Lion King. We don't know how much time passed, because we are not given an exact time skip. That's a weird thing that kind of happens in certain Disney movies. Sometimes there's a time skip and the characters mention it. Sometimes there's no time skip and the characters, sometimes there is a time skip but the characters don't mention how much time has passed. While other Disney movies, there is a time skip and the characters mention how many years or how many months it has been since, the first movie happened. So in the end, I think something happened in between the events of Lion King and before the events of, after the ending of Lion King and before the events of Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. And what I think what happened is, the death of both Kopa and Sarabi. Zira killed both Simba's firstborn son and killed his mother. That is a pretty reasonable way to respond. Because Simba, like I said, he just acts out of pure anger and hate and just some of it in a way showing the desire for revenge. And it's actually just shocking to see that Simba wants revenge on something. Yet we don't hear that. We don't hear the lines of Simba wanting revenge on something, or let alone the reason why Simba's acting like this. Now, if they do make a Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, a remake, maybe they could mention why Simba's acting so strange. Maybe they'll actually mention of a unknown cub that Simba and Nala originally had before Kiara, and most likely it probably was Zira who killed that cub. And at the end of the day, Simba resulted in banishing Zira and her followers. So overall, what do I think about this character? What do I think about Kopa? Well, I think he's a very interesting Lion King character. I would have loved to see this character in the actual Lion King franchise, but unfortunately he's not a 100% canon character. He's a canon character. He's just not really part of the Lion King franchise, because, he's only mentioned in a book, and he was never, just mentioned, or even, he just doesn't exist in the world of Lion King, and as a result, we just don't know why Simba's acting so damn strange. So, in the end, Kopa is a very interesting character. I really like this character, and I wish we could have done more about him, and, maybe see a movie version of him. But in the end, all we have is nothing but fan art and fan videos. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me in the comments below, what do you think about Kopa? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video, and peace out.